Hey y'all, this DSA1 UGA fan rants and opinions. Got some things on my mind I want to talk about right quick. This might be a short video, then I might get to rant and it might take a minute. But anyway, bear with me. Yo, I was looking at something. I forgot who it was from. It was in the news about Dan Mullin talking about UGA should be ranked number 6 because they don't look, excuse me y'all, somebody driving down the street. But anyway, saying UGA doesn't look like a a two-time national champion. Damn, Mullin, you knocked off UGA one time, went to the SEC championship and got dog walked by Alabama. Don't, man, Georgia fans to me don't really seem to care about your opinion on where Georgia should be ranked. I think Georgia should be ranked number 2 just because of the bye week, and also I will agree to the fact that Georgia has not really looked like a dominating team. And I'm not going to come on here and use this as an excuse that, oh, they lost so many players to this, that, and the third. Georgia lost 15 players to the draft when they won the first national championship, and I think they lost 10 to the draft last year. To me, that's no excuse. UGA got to tighten up. And it seems like taking other people's opinions into consideration, that UGA is playing up to their opponents. Like Kentucky, they came out and did a good job. South Carolina, iffy. Auburn, I would say they could have did more, but I'm not gonna say that. Hopefully they pick it up, especially tomorrow, with that game being a huge deal as far as a rivalry goes. I want to see Georgia put up about 40 points and monkey stomp them water geckos into the ground. But one of the subscribers that I'm YouTube friendly with was asking me was I gonna talk about it. The Georgia-Florida game. That's one of my favorite rivalries. The next one up is Alabama-Auburn. And I'll say the one behind that is Texas-Oklahoma, just because of the mystique and the hypeness. I guess you could say that's probably not a word, but the hypeness that comes behind it with the Texas Oklahoma game. Especially with them coming into the SEC next year, that's gonna be, it still to me is gonna be a huge deal. But just depending on how they look coming out of the Big Ten, coming into the SEC, that's, well, I should say Big 12. Big 10, Big 12, man, whatever. Anyway, that's going to be a huge deal next year just because they're in the SEC at that point. With Brock Bowers being out due to an injury, and then I was catching a few of the Uncle Lou videos where he was talking about a specific fan was saying that he's glad he's hurt or something to that effect. And then it got to the point where he was wishing that he was dead or death threats or something to that effect as well. I'm not on Twitter, so I don't know. I can only go off of what people on Twitter say about certain fans talking trash. And I will agree with Uncle Lou on this. I want Georgia to put up TCU national championship numbers on Tennessee, just for saying that. If any of y'all who catch this video and have seen my previous videos, I don't want players to be hurt, but it is a very physical sport, and I understand that injuries come with it. That's just a part of it. That's a part of life in general. You can get hurt stepping out of your bathtub, slip and fall and hurt yourself. Brock got hurt, and now the other players, as far as receivers and running backs, they got to step up. And then I was saying, I want to say a video too previous to this one. What if that was to happen? How is Georgia going to respond? You can probably even say I put a jinx on Brock Bowers, but my thing is this. Carson Beck and Stetson Bennett used Brock Bowers as a safety blanket. I didn't want him hurt, and I don't want him hurt. But my thing is, spread the ball around a little more. Don't always depend on him. I said this, I want to say a couple months ago, or a few months ago, better yet, that if Stetson Bennett would have spread the ball around a little more and not have Brock Bowers as a main target, it would have looked a little different. And then on top of that, Stetson had Washington wide open in the corner of the end zone. Nobody was near him for like 10 to 15 yards, and he threw to Brock Bowers. Those are points you leaving on the field. And I'm also saying this in the aspect of, yes, I spoke on this to where Ra Thomas and I keep forgetting this other young man's name. That's the other wide receiver that came from Missouri. Those are two of the receivers that I'm not gonna say the media per se. I'm just mainly gonna say Dog Nation kind of sort of hyped up that they were the two top receivers at their school. Why are they not being utilized more? Yes, they drop passes. Receivers are gonna drop passes. I'm not gonna talk like, oh, they should have hands to the point to where everything you throw in that area, they're catching it. No, they're not a Pickens. They're not a damn, I can't think of the young man's name. They're not those type of receivers as of yet. I just say it like that. But the ball should be distributed more, and I don't want it to look like Georgia only depends on Brock Bowers. Got Oscar Delp and the other tight end behind him. They also need touches, and in this game that's coming up tomorrow, they are going to play a very pivotal part in what's going to happen. That's just how I'm looking at it from that standpoint, because he's down, he's going through surgery, he's going to have to rehab. I don't expect him to come back at all this year. I don't. And I'm saying that also due to the fact that I wouldn't rush back a spectacular player like him until he's at least 90 to 100% healthy, just as to not re-injure his ankle. I know he's not going to be back by the Tennessee game, and to a degree, I don't want him to come back just because I want Georgia to blow Tennessee out in Athens. They did all that talking, I want to say 2 years ago. Oh, Georgia's not that loud. Playing in Athens is not that serious. And then the following year, went to Neyland Stadium and blew them out there. So I want a decisive win. No ifs and buts about it. I want Georgia to be on their A game, their A+ game, because that's what I would like to see, is Georgia utterly destroy Tennessee. And I've said this from the time, I don't remember if I said it on here, but I know I spoke to people that Tennessee be with bullshit. Like when Nick Chubb got hurt, and then I forgot the other player behind him the following year, he got hurt. I think he was a tight end. I was saying Tennessee is literally gunning for these guys' knees and stuff like that to hurt them and take them out of the game instead of just doing it fairly, and an injury happens, it happens. You can't predict the injury. You can prepare for it. But I don't like Tennessee. I don't like Tennessee in the aspect that they want players hurt. Florida, on the other hand, I don't like them just out of sheer dislike for the trash talking. But I have not heard Florida fans say they want Georgia players hurt. I've mainly heard, or even heard about, Tennessee saying they want Georgia players hurt. So I would like, and also want, for Georgia to be on a A+ game and dog walk Tennessee. Smoky Flop, Rocky Hot, Rocky Top, whatever the hell you want to call that garbage ass song they singing. I don't want them to sing nothing. I want them to be walking out by the beginning of the third quarter. That's how bad I want Georgia to beat Tennessee. I want Georgia to also kick Florida in the head, but I want Georgia to demolish Tennessee. I really want that to happen because as a fan of any team or any sport, you should not want, especially young men, young women, whatever the case may be, you should not want them to be hurt. Because it even feels or looks like, okay, the only way I was able to beat you was because you was down 80% and you wasn't really prepared to deal with us. Even though a lot of team players have injuries, a lot of teams have people that's not fully recovered from whatever injuries that they're suffering or going through. This game, I want that particular game, I should say. I want Georgia to really show that they're the two-time national champions. I definitely want them to show it tomorrow. But on that Georgia versus Tennessee in Athens, I want that to happen. This is DSA1 UGA fan. I'm out.